Welcome to our last day of the Vancouver Art Gallery's spring break programs. Thank you all for joining us. It has been a really fun week, a great variety of programs, and we've had some wonderful participants like yourself. We're so glad that you're here today. My name is Christina Jones, and I am the Family Programs Coordinator at the Vancouver Art Gallery. And I'm joining you today as a guest on unceded territory of the Comox Nation. And the word unceded, it means that the rights to the lands and waters were never surrendered or given an agreement. The rights were taken without permission. And the Vancouver Art Gallery, where I work, is on the unceded territory of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. And by learning from the Indigenous communities whose land that we are on, we can show our respect and take better care of the land. Today, we are going to think about the possibilities of transformation and imagination, and we are going to create along with award-winning Vancouver-based artist Sandeep Johal. You can see Sandeep's artworks all over Vancouver in her incredible storytelling murals. And today, oh, you know what else? She also wrote, she completely transformed the rotunda at the Vancouver Art Gallery a few years ago for an exhibition that was called Moving Still. So Sandeep believes in the power of art to create awareness around issues related to cultural identity, equality, and human rights. And you know what? I'm going to let Sandeep introduce yourself right now. Thanks so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me. Hey, everybody. Happy spring break. I'm super excited to do this workshop with you. I think my son wants to make a cameo.
Oh, come say hi.
Hi. This is my son, Safa. Now he's going to make himself scarce.
Thanks for sharing your mom with us.
Yeah, so today we're going to do a workshop on collage, and it's part of my practice. I do drawing, large-scale mural painting, collage, and recently textiles. So this is one of my favorite mediums because there's just so many possibilities and so many beautiful papers you can work with. Did we want to start the slideshow?
I know you use a lot of different animals in your work. I want to ask everybody who's watching us, what animals inspire you? Or maybe they're real or from your imagination. You can type your answers into the chat. Animals that maybe you love drawing or adding into your artwork. A few people are saying a tiger, a sea turtle. Someone else is saying dogs. Dogs inspire you, like creating dogs with your artwork. Birds and lions and cats, cheetahs, wolves, koalas, an otter, a hummingbird. Fantastic. Such a great variety, isn't it, Sandeep? Yeah. Cheetah, a fish, a kangaroo, big cats as well. Tigers and dragons, Pegasus, things from stories and mythology, monkeys and dogs and dinosaurs. Sandeep, would you like to share maybe some animals that inspire you? And then you can show us some of your mural work.
Sure, that is a great list of animals. Wow, I'm so impressed. Yeah, I love tigers. I love painting and drawing tigers. Monkeys are a favorite of mine, and definitely birds, which we're going to look at today, and snakes. I love painting snakes kind of moving through the murals or through my drawings.
I love how you do this with your hand when you think about the lines to create a snake or the movement that animal would make.
Yeah, because it's always this kind of like undulating movement, you know, and it's really aesthetically nice to look at as well. So this is actually my first mural, my first outdoor mural that I did for Vancouver Mural Festival in 2017. And I did a very simple black and white image of a woman on a tiger against a really lush background of pinks and greens and blues. And because it was my first mural, it was really nerve-wracking, and I thought the wall was so huge. But now that I've done murals that are a lot bigger, it feels so small to me. It's such a weird thing. But this was a really exciting project for me because it got my appetite wet for murals, and I kind of really built my mural practice from this particular mural. And so the next slide will show, so this was the following year for Art Smash through Vancouver Mural Festival. And I decided to try something a little bit different. I painted a black background because I wanted to see how the colors would pop. And I also decided that I wanted to make the figure in the middle really detailed and kind of really wild with pattern. And so the woman in the center, yes, she's got her hands up and she has tons of different patterns. There's floral patterns, there's geometric patterns, there's really organic patterns, and she's surrounded by really colorful birds and foliage, and again, the snake at the bottom. So this is actually my favorite mural so far. And this one I did in 2020, last year at the beginning of the pandemic. So this was an initiative through Van Mural Fest called Make Art While Apart. And we transformed 4 different neighborhoods, painting murals, temporary murals on the boarded up storefronts. And it really just changed the space. You know, everyone is feeling really anxiety ridden and a little bit stressed about what was happening. And as an artist, I just felt so honored to be able to bring a little bit of joy and positivity during that time through my artwork and through my imagery. And I really wanted to create something really bright and really fun. And we all had to write, you know, messages of hope and inspiration. So I have my little monkey saying, you know, hang in there, and my bird, you know, keep going. So this was a really fun and meaningful project from last year for sure. And then the next one, so this one was my biggest mural to date. It was last year during Nelson Mural Festival, and it was 1,500 square feet, so about 5 stories high and 30 feet wide. And again, I wanted to bring in the black and white imagery of the woman and then bring in my animals as well. So here you have a tiger who is now in color, and there's lots of really bright patterns, some polka dots, some florals, some crisscrosses, and then juxtaposed with black and white florals and colorful florals. And then of course, a little bird just kind of peeping up at the top. And again, on a black background, because I really love the way the colors pop. And then this is an example of, oftentimes I'll do a black and white drawing. Line drawing is really exciting to me. I think lines represent so many possibilities. And so I do a lot of line drawing at home, different animals, different figures, and I just try to bring in different kinds of patterning with each piece. And so here you see lots of different kinds of lines. Parts are colored in, parts aren't colored in, lots of like really tiny simple lines, lots of floral patterns. And then I've translated that image into a collage. So it looks similar, but I've changed up the pattern a little bit, and obviously it's color, so it has a different impact. So it's always really fun for me to see how work can translate from medium to medium. And then the last one, I believe, is this guy. So another example of a line drawing translated into collage, and just seeing how you can take an image and really push your limits through different mediums. And today, I thought it would be fun to focus on a bird creature, a sort of hybrid bird creature, because spring is around the corner. I'm seeing a lot of birds, I'm hearing a lot of birds, and I just thought it would be a nice way to kind of step into spring. So today I'm going to show you how to make your own bird character. And of course, you can add any kind of flair or any kind of special thing you want to it. I'm just giving you some examples, and you can modify them and adjust them and basically just run with it and create whatever kind of bird character you'd want to create. So I made a little cheat sheet for you. So I made a couple of bird heads here to give you an idea of what they could look like. Sometimes people feel more comfortable drawing them onto the paper and pencil and cutting them out. Sometimes people like to cut them out on plain paper and then trace it. It's totally up to you. So here are 2 different kinds of bird heads. This one actually looks like a number 9, and this one actually looks like another number 9. So the 2 different ways we write 9s kind of form the basis of these heads. And then I've given a bunch of eye options. So you can do all different kinds of eyes. You can add all kinds of details to them. And then we have the torsos, the arms, hands, and the legs and feet. So we'll go through it step by step, and you can try to do it like I'm doing it, or you can add your own special touch to it. So I have on my table a bunch of colored papers. I have origami paper, pattern paper, solid colors. I have textured paper from magazines, more patterned paper here. So it's really up to you how you want to present your bird or how you want to make it. What I suggest is starting with the head first, so then you know how big to make the eye, how big to make the beak, and then how you can make the rest of the body proportionate to the bird's head. Let's see, I think I'll start with, maybe actually, you know what? I'm gonna start with this paper. I think this is a fun one. So I'll cut this out. So if you want, you can draw the bird head on the back and then cut it out. So I'll do that just to show you how you can start that. And again, depending on which way you want it to face, keep that in mind. So let's do, I'm gonna go this way because I want my bird to face this way. So you can cut out the head, and I'll do a couple of versions so you can see what they both look like. So now we have this head that kind of looks like an apostrophe or a comma as well. And if you want, you can even cut into the head a little bit. So there's a bit of a space between the head and the neck. Now I have this as my head. I can either cut it straight across the bottom, I can curve it, or I could leave it a little bit angled. So again, that's totally up to you. And one thing I like to do is I like to make it a little bit bigger, because if it's too small, I can't make it bigger. But if I want to make this image smaller, I can just cut into it and make it smaller. So I think I'm just going to trim the side here because it feels a bit uneven to me. There we go. Okay, so here's one head, and then I might do another one on a plain color like this one. So this is a great paper. It's yellow, it's solid, but you can see a bit of texture in the paper. It's got like a dotted patterned texture, which is kind of cool. And so for this one, I'm just going to straight up cut the head out. And around. And oh. All right. So I have another head. Okay. So I'll work on these simultaneously just to show you like two different birds. So now that we have the heads, we can start thinking about the eyes and what kind of eyes you'd like to create. I have 4 different versions here. So 2 shaped like our eyeballs, one that's more like an oval, like a flattened oval, and then one that's a circle. But with this one, you could also replace it with some googly eyes. You can get wild with your bird. So I might do some googly eyes on one of the birds and then just show you different eye samples here. So for one of them, sometimes I do just a circular eyeball, and I often have a piece of paper on my table so I can just glue things on the paper without getting it onto my workspace. So there's a bit of extra glue here instead of right here, which is helpful. And I'm gonna put this eyeball in this eye. So we have, you can see that, but we have this cool little eye right here. And then sometimes I do an eyeball that's like a U that's filled in. And so I'm gonna put that on this eyeball. And you'll notice that this part is sticking out. So this part is sticking up over the eyeball. And I do that because it makes it easier to kind of fit it into the eye. So then I can just cut around the top and now the eyeball fits the eye. So I have two similar shaped eyes and they both have different eyeballs in the center. So it's really your preference, what you think looks cool or what you like. And then I might just, I don't have any black paper on me actually, so I'll just do a little blue eyeball. And again, your eyeballs don't even have to be black. They can be any color, you know, like red or pink or green. So I'm just gonna cut a circle here. And again, circles are hard. So just give it your best. And also you have the option of buying a circle tracer. So my son's just handed me a circle tracer. So these are really great because it helps you create that really nice circle. They come in all different sizes. I use these quite a bit when I'm drawing. So here we have my like little lopsided eyeball, and I'm gonna put this eyeball into this oval eye. So now we've got, you know, 3 different eyes that we could use for the bird. And then what I like to do with the eyes is kind of give them a little bit of a pop. So what I'll do often is I'll grab another piece of paper and I'll glue the eyeball onto it. There we go. And then I'll cut around the eyeball to give it an outline. So it just has this nice blue color that frames the eye a little bit and makes it a bit stronger. So we just cut around here. Okay. So now you see that there's an eyeball and it has blue around it, which is like pretty cool. And then I'm gonna do something similar with this eyeball, but I wanna show you another kind of cool thing you can do that almost looks like eyelashes, but eyelashes all around the eyes. All right, so how are your eyeballs looking? Are you doing ones that look like human eyeballs? Are you doing circle ones, Google ones? Okay, so for this one, I've basically cut the eyeball shape so it's a wider shape. And then I'm just gonna cut into that shape to kind of create a fringe or like an eyelash. This can be a little bit tricky, so just have to be a bit patient with this. So I don't know if you can see, but I'm cutting into it and it's almost like little mini triangles. So you'll see, I'm gonna go through. There we go. And for me, I'm just choosing these colors spontaneously. I really love a black and white palette with primary colors. So with reds, yellows, and blues. And then I like to add pops of pink or pops of orange. What are your favorite color palettes? What colors do you like to put together? There we go. So have a bottom fringe I'll try to hold it up so you can see it a bit closer, maybe against the white. There we go. So you can see this bottom part looks like eyelashes or fringe. So you can leave it like that, or you could just do it around the whole eye, which is what I like to do. I think it just makes the eye look really interesting. It adds a bit of pattern and texture in a different way. That's not just from the pattern on the paper.
Sandeep, we have some great comments in the chat about favorite colors. We have blue, pastel colors, purple and green. I like to put orange with purple, great combinations. Yellow and green, navy blue and dark green, peachy pink, yellow and orange, red, orange and pink. Yeah, fantastic. Purple, a few people like purple as well.
I can't wait to see your creations. Those colors sound perfect. Okay, so then I think I'm just going to trim these eyelashes a little bit because it's a bit big. So again, it's better to go a bit bigger than smaller because you can always trim down. I'm going to trim these guys. Okay. So now I have this head that I'm going to look at, and I have this eyeball to go with it. And I love the way the red and the yellow go together. I love the way the eye pops, having the red behind it. So I'm going to glue that onto the head. There we go. So I have part of a head done. And then I think for this one, I might even just put a Google eye just so you can see how fun that looks. Can't go wrong with the Google eye. Amazing. Do you guys like to put googly eyes on things? I just think googly eyes on things make everything so much funnier. So now we have these two very different looking heads. And now what do you think we can add? We can add some beaks. And with beaks, you can do straight up triangles, or you can do ones that are curved. So I think I might do a blue beak actually. For this one, I'm going to do a blue beak because I think that color would look really nice with the red. And I'm going to do a curved one. So instead of just doing a triangle, I'm going to add just a little bit of flair. So I'm going to round it out a little bit, and I'm going to curve it on the end as well. So you can see this piece here. It's like a little bit curved on both sides, and then the corner is rounded. And I'm going to put it on this bird. And again, you can either, you can have some angles. Here, if you can see, you can have some sharp angles on the side or the end. You could have it curved, you could cut it straight. So it really just depends on, what kind of look you want. So I'm going to leave those sharp sort of edges. And now my bird has this blue beak. I think it looks really cute. And then for this one, I might do, what color do you think would look good with this yellow and this red? I'm thinking I might do this blue. Again, looking at those primary colors together. And give that one a try. Let's see. And for this one, I might just do a triangle beak, just so you can see what that would look like. So again, that's what I love about collage and working with papers. There's just so many options, so many different things to play around with. So let's see what that looks like. So I could either put my beak here, or I could kind of make it look like its head is folding in and put the beak over here, like in the drawing. So in this drawing, I have the head kind of folded in, and then the beak is right here along the neck. So you could do that as well. And then we can also embellish, you know, the bottom of the necks. So with that, we can do, for example, I might grab, let's see, I might grab this paper here, which is pretty cool. So this is a fun little pattern, and I might just add it to the bottom of the neck to give the neck a bit more, you know, a bit more fun, make it a bit more fun. So I feel like the neck might be a bit long, so I'm just going to trim the neck a little bit. And then instead of cutting this out and trying to make it fit the neck, I'm going to just glue it to the back of the neck. So now it looks like that. And then from there, I'll trim it down and I'll cut a little pattern into it. So like this. There we go. And I might just do some rounded shapes. I'm going to cut in. Oh, sorry, realize I'm not under the camera here. So I'm just going to round these up. They almost look like little fingers. What kind of shapes are you drawn to? What are your favorite shapes? I love circles because you can do so much with the circle. Who likes triangles? Who likes rectangles and squares and diamonds?
Sandeep, we have people in the chat saying circles
Yeah.
and also squares. Also diamonds and hearts, ovals. Oval's a great shape, isn't
Yeah.
it? Circles, diamonds, and heart. A lot of diamond lovers.
Diamonds are great shapes too. I like that kind of, they look like, you know, squished rectangles almost. And here we go. So I just added like a little bit more around the neck so that the neck's a bit more fun. If you wanted to, you could add like another layer of paper and cut a different pattern underneath. I mean, the options are really endless. And so now, well, actually, I mean, you can do this now or at the end, but you can also decorate the head. So it almost looks like a little crown, you know, some like cute little, almost looks like some little hairs are sticking up. So you can add that now, or you can add it at the end. I might add it at the end once it's all done to just kind of see how it'll all fit together. And so after you've done the heads, so I have two heads here now, and they both look, you know, very different. I'm going to look at now doing the torso. So this part here, and I find it's a lot easier to do everything in pieces that you glue together than trying to cut out the arms while they're attached to the torso. And so my go-to for the torso is just cutting like a really simple rectangle. And I feel like that does the trick. So I think what do you guys think? Should I do a fun pattern for this guy? I think I might add this yellow pattern. So I'm just going to cut that into a simple rectangle. So again, I've cut it a little bit bigger than it would be just to make sure that I can pare it down. So now I have something to attach the head to. So I might even, I feel like the neck's a bit long, so I might even just trim that up. Okay. So now I have the neck with the torso, and then I think I'm going to glue that on. You don't have to glue it on right now. You can glue it on at the end, but I might just glue this one on first. And so you'll see now these two are attached, and the torso feels like it's a bit big. I'm going to trim it down, and you can even just add angles to it. So you could trim it on an angle on the sides, or you could leave it square. You can also, you know, sometimes I like to kind of round it out on the bottom here, so it's not a perfectly straight line. So you're getting kind of a curved line at the bottom here. And then I might even just do like an angled side. You can see. And I might even just bring the torso up a little bit. Okay. So now you see that it's been trimmed on the side, and it's kind of at an angle, so it's not perfectly straight. And then the bottom is curved. And I might even just give it a bit more of a curve. There we go. Ta-da! So now we have a torso for this one, and then I'll make a torso for the next one. And I think I want to use this really fun pattern paper. And so again, I'm going to just cut it a little bit bigger. So here we have that piece, and then I can glue the bird's head onto this torso, and I might just take it up at the bottom a little bit as well, because it feels a little bit big. I probably could have left some more room on the shoulders, but yeah, so sometimes it's fun to just have like a bunch of different patterns. Some are more prominent, some are a little bit lighter, some are more textured. So I'm gonna glue this guy onto torso. So I have these two birds, and they're looking pretty different. This one feels a little bit simpler. This one feels a bit more complicated. So again, you get to decide and just try out as many different things as you can. And so I think I'm going to just trim this torso down a little bit as well. And I'm going to keep it straight. There we go. Okay. So now, when we're looking at arms, you can do so many different things with arms. You can bend them in a V outwards, you can bend them in a V inwards, you can have them straight out, you can have one down, one up, so many options. So I think I might just do a couple of different options to show you, and then we'll look at the hands as well and see what kind of hands we can make. I like a creepy hand, so I'll probably make a creepy hand for one of the birds. And then there's also these simpler hands that are just like 3 fingers you can cut out. So let's move on to the arms. I think I want to do plain arms. So I feel like this one has a lot of pattern, it has a lot of texture. So I'm going to do the arms more minimally, and I'm just going to use a solid color, and I'm going to use a blue to kind of make it pop. So maybe what I'll do is, oh, and I like to make muscle arms. So you can either cut your arms completely straight, or you can kind of cut some shape into them and give them a little bit of muscle. I'm going to try that with this one here. So I like to just round it at the top. That. And just give it just like a little bit of shape, so it's a bit rounded. And then this part is a bit rounded. And then I just double check to make sure that it fits with the bird. So when we're looking at the bird here, what do you guys think? Do you think that arm fits the bird? It's pretty good. So I'm going to give the bird another arm, but is that a good arm position? And you can see the rounded shoulders, There's a little bit of rounding in the forearms. And then the hands are up to you. Depends on how complicated you want to make the hands. So I think I'm going to do, what color? I think I might do red hands. So then they can match the eyes, and I'll bring some more red into the piece. So I'll show you, for example, if you want to do the 3-finger hand, draw it on the back side of the paper so the pencil doesn't show through on the side that you want. So I'm going to draw my 3-finger hand. Okay, maybe I'll do it in felt so you can see it a bit better. Okay, so I think you can see that. And then I'm going to cut the shape out. It's pretty rounded, so it can get tricky. And there we go. Awesome. Okay, so now I have, it almost looks like a heart with 3 bumps. So I could turn that into a hand, right? It's kind of fun. Or I could try to make a hand that's a bit more realistic. And so for that, it's a bit more complicated. So I'm going to draw it onto the piece of paper. And I have to remember, because I'm drawing on the back of the paper, I have to draw it in the inverse. Okay. So I'm going to cut out the hand. This one's going to be a little bit more realistic. Hands are tough to do. It's taken me a while to really get comfortable drawing hands. Just make sure you guys can see. I'm just cutting out the fingers. There we go. Okay. So this is my hand. If you can see it, I'm just going to actually cut out this finger a little bit more so you can see some space between the fingers. There we go. Okay, so here's a giant hand, and I can add this to the arm like that. So again, I also like really giant arms, giant hands. You know, I think sometimes it's fun to like emphasize different body parts. So yeah, you could do like a hand like this. You could do a more realistic hand. It's totally up to you. You can position the arms in different ways. So, you know, you could have the arms like that. You could have the arms like that, you know, kind of like that. You can have the arms like this. So there's lots of different possibilities. And that's why I don't glue everything down at once, because, you know, maybe you want to try something else by the end of it when you see how it all comes together. So it's nice to just have these sort of freely moving parts. So we've got some arms on this little bird. And then what do you think I should do for the legs? Do you think I should do legs like this, or like this? What do you think would work with that one? The first one, so this one here? Oh, that is a great idea. Okay, so let's do that one. And again, sometimes I find, like, if you're trying to do the legs and you're trying to cut the feet out with the same piece of paper, it can be really difficult, or you know, you might end up cutting the foot too small and then you have to redo the leg, or maybe the leg's too small and the feet are too big. So sometimes I'll do them in parts, and then that's how I can make sure that the proportions are correct. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do this one here, and I'll show you how you can break it down so that it's easier to do. I think, you know what, I'm going to ask you guys, what color do you think I should do the legs? Should I use this blue, or should I use this pink? I'll put them beside here.
It looks like some people are saying blue, some people are saying the pink. I think it's pretty tied.
Oh,
What do you think, Sandeep? We have
I don't
blue,
know.
more blues coming in.
I kind of feel like I'm gonna do it with blue, and then I might accent it with some pink.
Sounds good.
I think that could work. Or just to add another layer, there's also this really cool maroon color. So now I'm wondering if this maroon color might be fun. Oh, ooh, I like that. Blue and pink. You know what? Why don't I do them all? Let's do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this guy up, and I'm going to just hold it here just so I can get an idea of how wide I should make the legs. So I'm going to just cut out from the side here, like that. And then I'll do it from the other side here. Okay, so I kind of have an idea of how wide the legs are going to be. And then just in case I make any mistakes, I mean, and again, it's totally fine to make mistakes. That's how we learn. That's how we get better. I make a ton of mistakes. But I think sometimes it's easier just to cut the shapes out on their own. So I'm going to cut this top part here. I'm going to cut it out kind of like an upside down heart. Okay. So I'm going to do a little circle here. You guys see me? And then I'm going to bring it in. And again, you can draw it beforehand just to get the size that you want, the proportion that you want. Okay, so I'm going to just thin this out a little bit because this side's a bit wider. Okay, here we go. So now we've got that top part, and it fits really nicely with the bird. It's going to move it up a little bit so you can see this. So now I want to add the bottom part. So I'm thinking it might be cool to bring in the maroon and the pink. And maybe I'll do the bottom leg and the feet with the maroon, and then I'll do some accents with pink and add some pattern with pink. So again, I'm going to hold this up to the paper so I can get an idea of how wide I want to make the leg. And I think I'll do it like this. Okay. So I might even just draw a line. I might even just draw a line on the paper and then just cut it. Now I've got these two kind of long rectangles, and it kind of looks like this like giant here. So I'm going to trim these down a little bit. Put this back here as a hand. Okay. So trim that down. And I think I might just want to like round it out a little bit so it doesn't look like it's just a couple of sticks. There we go. And then I'll round out. If I want to make sure it's the same, I'll flip it over and I'll just use this to trace it with.
How's everyone doing? How are your bird creations doing? A few people have asked how you can share maybe some images of what you've created. You can feel free, I put my email into the chat. You can send them to me and I can even send them along to Sandeep or share them on Instagram if you like. And we're going to keep working for, what do you think, Sandeep, about 5 more minutes?
Sure, yeah. I'll finish off these legs and feet and then I'll just quickly show you how you can add pattern to the birds.
A lot of people are saying how much they like the patterns in the work. I hope everyone's gotten a chance to add some pattern to their work as well.
Yeah, it's super fun. And like, I might even just make these a little bit shorter. So I can either put that underneath or I could round the top. Sorry, I keep forgetting that the eye view is here. There we go. I could round the top and then have that on the top part like that. So again, those are 2 different options. You can either have it tucked away underneath or you can have it on the top. And then I thought maybe I'd finish off with, let's do some feet. So I'm gonna cut out some pink and oh, sorry, you can't see there. Okay, here we go. So I'm just gonna do like 3 toes. See, look how like gigantic his foot looks. So I'm gonna trim it down a little bit. It's always so much easier to make it a little bit bigger, like I've said before, so you can trim it down. And then I'll just maybe trim these down a little bit and make them a bit thinner. There we go. It's like a cute little boot. So either you can have it above or you can tuck it in below and have that part underneath. So I'm going to cut the other foot and again, I'll just trace it. We'll go this way. See that? And I'm just going to round these toes again here. And I forgot this paper that I have, it's actually double-sided. So there's a light pink on one side and then there's a darker pink on the other side. There we go. Okay. All right. So you have options. You can have the feet going in the same direction, which is kind of fun. And they're both like slightly different pinks. You can have them going in opposite directions like that, which is like pretty fun. One thing I really like to do to add a bit of pattern, a little bit of detail is, let me see if I can find the color I want. You know what, I might go back to the yellow that I used for the head just to tie that in. And so I like cutting out these leaf patterns and then building up a pattern on the piece. So the leaf patterns just look like the eyeballs where it's just one rounded side and another rounded side. And then I just have to make sure it's the right size. And then I put it on top like that. And then I'll do like 5 more. And then I'll add another one. Maybe I'll do, there we go. And then I'll just do one right at the top. This is kind of my like go-to pattern. I think it's really fun. So you can have like a really cool pattern running up the leg. You can also do, I do a lot of like stripes in my work. So, you know, maybe I'll bring in some pink and I'll add a little stripe to the arm and then just cut it to fit the arm. So then maybe there's 2 stripes right here. So it's kind of cool. And then for the feet as well, in my drawings, I often draw like a little kind of curved line by the heel. So you could actually, I might do it in red. I think red would be a great color. I might do dark red. So I'm just going to cut this kind of curve. Almost looks like, it's kind of like this shape, like a, almost like a cup. And then I just put it in the heel. So it adds a bit of detail to the foot. And then again, I can just trace this with my scissors. There we go. So I've added, yeah. So we've got some details on the feet. What other kind of details could you add to the bird if you're going to cut out patterns? What other kind of shapes or details could you add, and where would you add them on this piece?
People are saying wings, claws. That's an interesting idea too.
Yeah.
It looks fantastic. It's been so much fun to watch this come together.
Oh, and you can even add like a cute little eyebrow above the bird.
Some people are saying they've added ties. Someone said a watch as well.
That's so cool. I love that. Even like little bow ties would be cool. You could even do like a little top hat. So I often add eyebrows to my work. So now he has, or it has a little eyebrow. Glasses. Yeah, glasses are a great idea. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Ties, watches, bow ties, hats. You know what? I'm going to just add, I'm going to pull them down a little bit. And I'm gonna, I don't have any black on my table, so I might just use this dark blue. I'm gonna quickly add a little hat, which is super fun. There we go. You can add a little hat. Like that. Just really cute. Yeah, so I mean, you can make it as, oh, start my video. Yeah, you can make it as simple as you want or as complicated as you want. I tend to just keep adding. And then when it feels like there's enough detail, I stop. But it's always good to have some empty spaces so that you have places where your eyes can rest. Because if it's all too detailed, then it's hard to find a place to just kind of rest your eye. So this way your eyes can kind of move in and out of the piece. Oh yeah, a dress would be great. Yeah, that's a great suggestion.
There have been so many fantastic suggestions in the chat, so many ideas as well about different accessories you can add,
Yeah.
colors, different color options. So many people are also saying how much fun they're having creating their own
Oh, yay.
figures. So I would say a huge thank you to you, Sandeep, for joining us today as we wind down. If you're not finished your creation yet, you can keep working on it for as long as you like. I want to make sure if anyone else has any final questions for Sandeep, you can put them in the chat. But I really thank you all, mostly all of you who have joined us all week, all of you who have joined us today. It has been a fantastic week being creative together. I want to thank Lynn, who's been helping us behind the scenes. And I also want to say thank you to BMO for making spring break programs possible today. So, as I said, if you have an image of your work that you'd like to share with me, or we can even post it to the Vancouver Art Gallery's Instagram, feel free to send it to, I'll put my email in the chat one more time. And fantastic. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us. What a fantastic session, Sandeep. This has been so much fun.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I'm glad that you're having fun and you're creating your own creatures. And again, you can create any kind of creature. You can create monkeys and tigers and elephants and all of those great suggestions you had at the beginning. So I would love, love, love to see what you created from this session.
Yes, so would I. I would love to as well. We all would. Fantastic. Well, thank you again, everyone. And thank you again for your enthusiasm for our programs this week. And I hope you have a fun and safe day and continue to create and connect to each other through artwork. And have a fantastic afternoon. Bye, Sandeep.
Bye. Thank you.